Who am I? 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 Who? Who? Who am I? 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 Please. Who am I? 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 Who on earth am I? Who exactly am I? Who is it that I am? Ha ha! Who am I? 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 Does anybody know who I am? Who am I? Who am I? Who? Who am I? Who am I? Who is it that I am? Who is it that I am? Please, please, please tell me who I am. Tell me who I am. Tell me who I am. Who am I? Who am I? Who am I? The question of the day, people don't ask this question. Who am I? How can I define who I am? In my past, I've been a construction worker. Am I a construction worker? Not now. Were you a construction worker? You were. When you were a construction worker, what did people define you as, Aaron? A builder. They called me a builder. Were you a builder? I did building. But was I a builder? I don't know. What is this concept? How can we define this concept? You see, because at the same time as being a builder, I was also a karateka, practicing karate. Was I a karateka? Some people would say I was a karateka. How did I feel about myself? I thought I was a karateka. I thought that's what I was. Yes, I'm a karateka. I liked the karateka personage more than the builder. Because the builder is kind of like, oh, he's a builder. If he's a karateka, oh, he's a karateka. And so the ego likes that more. Now, I'm a sort of a musician. And when people refer to me, you also are a musician, Aaron, I go, wow, I'm a musician. I don't personally consider myself to be one, because I consider musicians to be of much greater prowess than I. And so, if I'm anything, I'm a would-be musician. But you see, that's my ego, because my ego has a level of non-acceptance about my current ability. It's better than most, it's better than people starting maybe 5 years ago, but it's worse than people who started 25 years ago. And so I'm in there somewhere, and I make comparisons. And so am I a musician? Depends. Some people may think I am, some people, they express that they don't think I am. If I want to accept that I'm a musician, then what do? I take on board this characteristic, this definition. My ego likes that. I'm a musician. So what do you do, Aaron? I'm a musician. Well, what do you do as a job? Well, I've not got a job. You've not got a job? Oh, well, don't you get bored? No. Well, what do you do then? You just spend all your time doing your music? You can't do that 24 hours a day. You need to have a job. Well, I mean, yeah, but it doesn't matter. How do we define ourselves? How do we define ourselves? How do I define myself? I've lived 53 years. I've been many, many things. I've done many, many things. I've experienced many, many things. I've partook in many, many things. It gets cloudy. All of a sudden, it's gone cloudy on me. Because it's only words. What am I trying to do? I'm trying to define what I am as a human being. What am I as a human being? I'm a traveller, I'm a sporty person, I'm a musician, I'm an entrepreneur, I'm a philosopher, I'm a psychologist, I'm a ranter, I'm a free spirit, I'm a confused person. I don't know. I don't know what I am. I really don't know what I am. I know what I've been. I don't know what I'm going to be. What am I? Who am I? Today. Who am I? Some people know me as Aaron. And all the people that have known me have a differing opinion as to who I am. Who am I to believe? There's been thousands of people which will state an opinion as to who Aaron is. Who do we believe? The ego will choose little pieces from this person, that person, the other person, and the ego will absorb these little facets and projections from other people. When other people say, oh, Aaron's a nice chap, Aaron's a kind chap, Aaron's a smart chap, ooh, Aaron's a go-getter, yeah, I like all those labels. But when people go, Aaron's a cunt, Aaron's arrogant, Aaron's confused, Aaron, what can we say about Aaron? Remember when he did this, and remember when he did that? The ego then doesn't want to accept those, has a level of negation about those, and goes, I'm not that person. I'm all the other things. I'm all the nice things. Who am I? I'm just a fantasy. I'm a fantasy, picking and choosing at what I want to be. picking and choosing at who I think I am. And I'm in a great level of denial about everything else because it doesn't suit me. Who's me? Huh? Me? Yeah! You, Sonny! Me? Who's me? Oh. You mean now? Now? I'm this guy. I'm just a guy that is standing beneath a bridge in a ravine next to a medieval village in a poor, impoverished country with a tiny population, 8 million, but only 4 million live in this country, tiny, minuscule. Who am I? Who am I this second? I'm a person making a video. I'm a person projecting all of these things. I'm a person trying to discern. Who am I? Who am I? You see where we're going with this, people? Who am I? For God's sake, man! Who am I? Who am I? It's just acting, people. Who am I? Who? 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 The unanswerable question. The indefinable me. Who am I? I'm indefinable. If you are indefinable, Aaron, then you are nobody. You're nobody! Because we can't label you. How can anybody label you if you're nobody? You are somebody, look, I can see. I can see somebody. Huh, you look like this to me. Well, I think it looks more like that. Don't you? I've got him down for being kind of like this. Really? I would have thought that a better description was somebody like this. Who are we? Who am I? When you ask the question, people, there will be no definitive answer. There will only be labels and concepts which you choose to partake in. You choose to reside within the parameters of that label. That person's a great boss. Ha ha! I'm a great boss. Really. That person's a brilliant tennis player. I'm a brilliant tennis player. Swish, swoosh, wallop. I am a marauding, massacring, violent individual who takes great satisfaction from murder and mayhem. And I'm good at it. Wow, wow, wow. When we start to think, you go into the abyss, people. There is nowhere else to go. Because the narrow parameters of this matrix, when you look at them really, they're tiny. Bound by language and bound by numbers. When you leave numbers and you leave language, you also leave labels and concepts, then you are in the abyss. Because if you are in an arena whereby you can't be counted, you can't be quantified, you can't be labelled, categorized, pigeonholed, you can't be defined, then you are outside of that. If you are outside of those concepts, people, you are outside of the matrix. And if you are outside of the matrix, you are in the abyss, where all this matrixial stuff no longer applies. This is what I'm talking about. I'm now residing with one foot in the abyss and one foot in the matrix, and I pick and choose as to any given time or day that I want to reside in one or the other. I can be walking down the street and I can immerse myself in the matrix, and I can be thinking matrixial thoughts, and then I can just look up into the sky and I can be gone. I'm completely outside of the matrix, completely outside of that reality. I'm in the abyss where nothing exists. The only thing that exists is thought. And when you train yourself to be outside of thoughts, then you will be in an arena whereby you experience 100% the abyss. There's no you, there's no body, there's no concept, there's no language, there's nothing. There's just the eternal abyss. And knowingness, you just know. You just have an awareness. Who am I? I'm awareness. That's it. That's the concept, that's the label, that's the definition. I'm awareness. Who are you? You too are awareness. That is all you are, in real terms. When people apply themselves to discovering, who am I? Who are you? When they apply themselves to discovering that, they discover the abyss. And this is what René Descartes, philosopher about 1650, he's the one who said, ergo, or cogito ergo sum, I think therefore I am. Because he did this. He wanted to know who he was. And he looked at all of his senses to see if there was a reality behind any of the senses. And he discovered that there wasn't. There's just an illusion of reality. And then, by way of reduction, he came ultimately to the mind with the thoughts. And he couldn't determine or discern that he really existed via his senses. But it was indisputable that something existed via his thoughts. But you see, he was a brilliant man, and all the people in the West have took that on board and go, oh, I must exist because I'm thinking. And so that's what's been promulgated for the past 400 years. But you see, in the East, they've got a different perspective. And their perspective is the Buddhist perspective. With their deep meditation, and they go into this abyss, the realm of non-thoughts, then what they say is that René Descartes was wrong. Because when I don't think, that's when I am. I am that I am. I am eternal consciousness. I am eternal awareness. Because when I'm thinking, this thing that's thinking is a liar. It's the thing that tells you lies from the day you're born about this thing around you. This is solid. You know, this is soft. This is hot. This is cold. all these things are all labels, and I can put all these together, and I can create language, and I can converse with people. But what are we doing really? All we're doing is, with language, we are building up an illusion. Because when you look at words, words just mean other words. And if you look at any particular thing, define that, and you say that's this. Then you look in the dictionary at what that word means, and it just means all other words. So then you go, well, is this thing this, and this? And then you go, oh yeah, maybe, can be, depends what, and then it all gets cloudy again. And then you go, so we can't really depend on language, can we? To define and discern anything. There's no reality. And then we go, oh yeah, language is a tool to build our illusion. And this is why I say that we are God. Because isn't that what God did? In the beginning was the Word. And from the Word, God created everything else. Now what are we doing? In the beginning of our humble existence, go back several million years to when we supposedly gained our consciousness and our rational thought. And then from that point on, we then progressed, didn't we? Because we could create labels for things, and then we could have a level of understanding with everybody else around us, a mutual understanding. That's what it was. If I say I'm standing on a rock, and in any other language on this planet, rock means a certain something. It's vague, but it means a certain something. Then people can have, oh, okay, I've got a concept about a rock. And then you can build from a concept. And what builders do, architects and scientists, they start to define more and more and more. But you see, the definition lets them down unless they speak a certain esoteric language, and they have to understand and comprehend and agree that this word means this certain concept. It doesn't mean anything else. You have to understand, and you have to stick fast to this concept, because if you don't, then it gets vague again and science falls down again. You see, it will all just fall apart. It's so fragile. When you step outside of language, you can see then that this world is an illusion. When you go into deep meditation, you will also see that this world is an illusion. When you have profound psychedelic experiences, you will discover that this world is an illusion. When you have profound meditation experiences, when you just have an experience outside of this construct, you'll know it when you have one, and you'll go, that's a different ball game. What was that? What was that? I can't define it. I can't comprehend it. It doesn't fit with anything else that I've ever known. What was that? Indeed, what was that? It's just a little tiny insight into something that we have got no comprehension about. This awareness, when you have, say, like mushroom trips or DMT trips, and probably many other psychedelics which I haven't experienced, you go into a realm within your mind that tells you that you are everything. There is nothing else. There is only this huge expansiveness that you are. You just feel it. You just feel you are everything. And there is nothing else outside of that, and you're it. And so, again, it's an amazing, complex paradox, because you're thinking that you're it, but what is it? Well, this. What's this? This nothingness. Huh. It's all fallen down again, hasn't it? Awareness, that's all we can say it is, people. It's awareness. So I'm at the stage of my life where I am contemplating these things, and I'm bringing to you a level of expression about where I am on my journey. And it will probably get more weird from here on. But I don't see that I could be lost in the abyss, because I have this choice of coming back. But the difficulty is whether you want to choose to. Is there going to come a day when I no longer want to choose to come back into the Matrix? Like the Buddha, sitting under a tree, just being aware. Because this awareness is very satiating. When all of this bullshit in this Matrix is really insufferable. It's just a soup of suffering, really. Don't get me wrong, there's good aspects to it, if you pick and choose, and if you're lucky, I guess. And if you're not too stupid, then you can go through this life with more positive experiences than negative. And this is the stage that I'm at. I'm looking at things and I'm deriving great pleasure out of the amazing complexity of the illusion regarding life, regarding my physicality, regarding this physicality when I hold a little bird, or when I look at a little moth or a spider or some creature and I marvel at it. The complexity of a spider and his web. Just there, people, just there. The intelligence in that is vast beyond comprehension. And that's just a tiny, 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 tiny smidgen of what this has to offer. Can you imagine how easy it is to lose yourself in that? It's much more satisfying than calculating, quantifying, and all of these things that we do to give us an anchor to this illusion. We bind ourselves in all of this quantifying with the time and the numbers and the sequences and the language. We're bound by it. Because this is what gives this thing substance. Without that, there's no substance to it. You're just in the now, and then you go. You just look around in bewilderment. And this is what Terence McKenna said about being on DMT. You just resign yourself to astonishment. And that's kind of what I'm doing. I'm resigning myself to astonishment, because being in this level of astonishment is a beautiful place. Not to judge and not to label, just to observe how everything is. Okay, people. This is maybe the only video I'll be making today. I think it's something that you'll need to assimilate, something that you'll need to listen to maybe a couple of times, if you have a mind. If I've touched you, if you're at the level where you can be touched, if I can't touch you, then it's because you're not ready for it yet. And so you'll have to continue on your path, and you'll find your own way. Have a great day.